This video discusses a few unrelated topics. In theory, it may be possible to detect where the two final shots came from. It is worth knowing, because if they're not coming from 32-135, then they're not the suicide shots. There are a few videos with the two final shots, but most aren't useful, as the main problem is synchronization. Visual cues in the environment are not good enough, because audio sync issues in cell phones are too much of an obstacle. To circumvent this problem, we can analyze sound travel errors for several moving cell phones. This method has been successful in the past in detecting the automatic rounds in the cabby video as coming from 32-135, not 32-134. For the automatic rounds fired during the cab video, sound travel time calculations suggest that the northern window is more likely the origin. But this method requires at least two videos where the two shots are audible, and, in each video, the cameraman changes location between the shots. Right now, only Raymond Page meets these criteria.
I've been shot.
At least one more such clip is needed. Unfortunately, in other videos with the final two shots, the cameraman doesn't move between the shots. This includes the bus stop.
It's probably not the safest place.
The strip traffic. The airport escape.
What? Go!
First shots. And the restaurant parking video.
Somebody out there is over there, let me know. Oh shit.
In the cabby video, the camera is moving, but the two final shots are too muffled and ambiguous to be useful. And thus we need a holy grail, one more video with the two final shots, with the cameraman moving between them. The more movement, and the more such videos, the better. The crowd size is usually given as 22,000, but this is the number of tickets sold. We can try to estimate the actual crowd size just prior to the shooting. This is relatively easy in the area with the highest density, near the stage, because the density there is uniform. For example, we can take this photo, and recreate the camera position in 3D. We can then take a small square section, and count heads in it to get baseline density. We can then say that, for example, in this photo, there are 4,500 people. Here, we see 7,500. But further away from the stage, the crowd density varies, and its distribution needs to be accurately recreated for a total estimate. Using the recently released rooftop cam, we can take frames with spotlights to make a composite of the whole crowd, fully illuminated, just prior to the shooting. We have to be careful and not confuse things for people. For example, most of what we see in this section are chairs. There are some people there, as indicated by some motion in the rooftop cam, and cell phone activity. But they're much more sparse than the chairs. Here is the recreated density pattern for the whole venue. Here it is side by side with the roof cam crowd composite. This recreated density distribution gives us a total of 14,700 people in the venue, which is about 2/3 of the 22,000 tickets sold. Many people have noticed the lack of an air draft in Paddock's suite after the breach of 32-134. An aspect that has not been discussed is the wind direction. To generate a pressure difference between the two broken windows, the wind would have to come from 180-degree arcs facing either window, that is from directions ranging from northwest to south. But the wind between 10 and 11 p.m. was only 5 miles per hour, and oscillated between south and west, that is, it came from the opposite direction. The two broken windows were thus shielded from the wind by the building. This makes it unlikely that the door to 32-134 was closed by a draft. It was more likely closed deliberately. A user called Skippy Hammond seems to have identified the 223 ammo by its packaging. It looks like Federal brand, law enforcement, 3,222 fps initial velocity. This is quite close to the values used in the first shot's recreation, where 3,325 fps was used. By the way, here are the photos of the 4 known recovered bullets. The recreation of the first shot suggests that the fourth single round struck behind the stage. This raises the question if Paddock targeted that location on purpose, or if he was aiming elsewhere and missed. Since he needed 8 shots to hit the tanks, we know he wasn't the greatest marksman. But the recent roof cam video reveals that there was indeed a group of people quite active in that area. By the way, this is where the 2 shooters video comes from.
Two shooters, right there in that room.
This means that the single shot targeting that location could have been deliberate. No concert-goer reported seeing the fuel tanks being hit. This is surprising, given the brightness of a blast made by an API round.
308, armor-piercing API.
This is the earliest picture that appears to show the burn marks already present. The stream of people passing by the tanks seems to be continuous with the people marching in the airport escape video. But in the airport escape video, no one mentions the tanks already being struck, only that there is a danger of them being targeted.
We're not really safe by those fuel tanks.
Where are we going?
I don't know. Just away from them fuel tanks.
Keep
I'm
flying
not
above
worried
our
about
head.
those as much as I am. I haven't seen anything hit those.
No, I haven't seen any.
We thus know that people in this area have not seen the fuel tank impacts, and neither have the people that passed by the tanks later, when this photo was taken, and the impacts were already present. This suggests that the fuel tanks had been struck before any people got to this area. The exact time is a mystery. Now a pet peeve. Many commenters discussing the Vegas shooting use the word triangulate to mean locate something in space in general. Actually, triangulation is one specific technique in geometry which uses triangles. It's related to a much larger field of range finding, that is determining distances. Range finding can be done using many methods, such as radar, echolocation, laser, optical parallax, thumb crack method, and others. Triangulation should really be reserved just for that specific geometric method that uses triangles.